Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to my small backyard vegetable garden here in central Victoria. We have had a beautiful run of sunny days along with frost most mornings, but it is definitely heading towards spring and my jobs list for winter has not been ticked off. The next job on my list is to get this grapevine out of this large tub. One, I want the tub for potatoes. I have some royal blue potatoes that need planting, and the other is because I want to get that ornamental grapevine planted at the back of our house so it can then grow and keep the sun off the back veranda through the hotter months. I have grown it from a cutting and it needs to be planted in its permanent place this year. I thought this job was going to be a quick one and I'd have it done in no time at all and I could move the tub and have it ready for potatoes. It proved to be a rather testing one. Moving the large tub and digging out the grapevine was not the problem. It was a plant that I had popped in there. It was a gift, can I say, from someone, and it has proven to be quite a noxious weed really, and I am very thankful that I did not plant it into my garden. I popped it in here into the tub with the ornamental grapevine thinking, oh, just sit it there and I'll put it somewhere else. You get free plants from people. And thankfully it has gone no further, but what it has done is very, very invasively got into this pot. It's meant to be an edible plant. I don't know what it's called. I thought it was just nice, and look, if it had just stayed there and just lived in the pot with the grapevine, it would have been fine. But I'm trying to get it out and save all this wonderful soil that has been built up over the years, composted and fed up for my potatoes. And I think at this point I have realized that I cannot save any of this soil, and I'm feeling quite low about it. And then I thought, why am I filming this? This is not very interesting to anybody else about me having trouble with this weed in the pot. And then I thought it truly is a lesson to be careful when you do receive plants or even buy plants that you don't know anything about, that how much damage one plant can do. Now, if this had been in my garden beds, it would be an endless effort to try and get it out. The roots had wrapped around and around and around this large pot, and truly it had only been in there, I don't know, maybe a year. So this is me trying to save the soil, thinking maybe I can just dig down a little bit and then use the lower soil. But the deeper I got trying to get the root system out, the more I was realizing this cannot be saved. I could not even get a shovel to dig it out. When I chopped around just to get the grapevine out, it was hard going. Like, I was really forcing that shovel in. These are the leaves. At this point, I was thinking, okay, I need to get this pot out and just upend the whole pot and try and get all the soil out, thinking I might be able to still save the lower part of the soil. It was not to be, and in the end I thought, I can't even trust that it won't grow from a tiny little piece of the root. So I will be starting again for the potatoes because there is no way I want to start building up soil in these large tubs only to find a piece of root take off. I would rather scrap the lot and start from scratch again. I do have a lot of crocks and stones at the bottom of these tubs, so that is my next mission, to sort all those out. But before I do that, I have this pot that has the lemon verbena in it. I dug it up to put the strawberry pot in the perennial vegetable bed. And I thought I would shift it here because the tub is going to go at the end of all the capsicums, just so I have them all in a line there, and eventually when the capsicums are moved on, I will have all my tubs there ready to go for potatoes or carrots or other things that I want to plant along there. Next is the upending of the pot. I can't believe how heavy it was. I think when you're on a mission and you sort of have superhuman strength, because this pot was very, very heavy. And there it is, all the roots through the bottom. It was just through every part of the soil. So I kept none of the soil in there, took it all out, wiped the crocks as I put them back in, making sure there was no bits of root on those when they went back in. I don't know how invasive this is, whether it will grow from another piece of the root, but I did not want to take any chances. I actually went through something very similar to this in my front garden. I bought a little pot of what I know it to be as Christmas bells, and it's sort of a little tuber. I bought it at a fete and I happily planted it in my garden many, many years ago, and I am still trying to rid it from my front garden. There has been endless attempts on my part to have it gone, and I think if you talk to someone who has gardened for a little while, most will have a story that is exactly like that. I'm very happy to have that sorted, but now what to do with this huge lump of soil? Moving on to something way more fun, and that is the rest of my list that I had for this afternoon. I don't think I'm going to get it all done, but I'm going to try and get as many of the things that I had wanted to get done this afternoon done before it gets dark. And it starts with getting this box open. I ordered another 2 black nets for garden bed 1 and 2. I've been so happy with the black netting that I had previously bought. And after the birds had got into garden bed 2, I think the cockatoos actually had got into that bed, I was so happy that I went ahead and ordered those. I also was away visiting my mum and found another 2 purple asparagus plants, which I now have to make room for. So yeah, I got to get and do that, but that won't be tonight. I gathered up all the seed snail wrappers so I can get those all washed so they are all ready for me to start sowing seeds in. And I also added another houseplant to our collection, and it needs to be potted up into a little terracotta pot. That is a really quick thing that I am just going to whip in and get done. I don't need any extra soil. It is going into a pot of the same size, just a little bit different shape. And this little umbrella plant, it's been sitting on the rack at the back veranda with my pumpkins overwintering, and it was the same size as the other little pot there, and it has grown, but unfortunately it has grown out on an angle from underneath the next shelf. So I need to pot it up into a bigger pot and straighten it up a bit, then it should be okay. It has looked so pretty sitting there on the racks with the pumpkins that I will probably put it back there because it obviously likes that position. So that was a quick change of pots, and I did not want to carry them down to the house and then back up again so I could pot up tomorrow. I really just want to get this done and carry them down. With the frosts, they cannot be left up here overnight. It has grown so much. I think it's at least doubled its size, maybe tripled its size, and it will love some fresh soil and a bit more room, and it can go back on the shelf with the pumpkins that I really need to get on and roast. I thought I would just, whatever we have left there now, it's not too many, I might just cut them in half and get them in the oven and roast them, and then freeze the roasted pumpkin to use through the next couple of months. It's always easier if things like that are already cooked and you can just add them into pastas and curries. But for now, get this into the pot. I'm putting some worm castings. I've just put some basic potting mix, some coir and some worm castings. It does not like it too damp, so I don't want to use any kind of heavy potting mix. I actually have one of these on my front veranda, and it is maybe 4 times bigger than this. So they do get big, and they're fairly hardy for somebody who is wanting a house plant that is very forgiving. So we just get that sorted. The lights have come on, so it is getting very dark, but this plant is looking much happier just in that pot. I really do love these plants. They are something from my childhood, yet again, like the rubber plants. And this one has the pinkiest tinge on the leaf. We have a plain green one like that growing on our kitchen windowsill. I'm going to quickly get a net tossed over this garden bed because I do not want to risk coming out and finding bird damage again. Seeing I have them here, I'm just going to take a little bit extra time and get the bed covered. I thought about leaving it until in the morning, but I just think it's a better insurance policy that I put it over now. Hunter wants to go inside. He says, "This is late enough. Come on, let's get going." I came out the next day and put a few more stakes in and got it covered properly. I do love how you can see through them, you can water through them. Even though I would rather not net, it's probably my favorite option of netting. And we are on cauliflower watch. I am waiting for the next one that I can pick and we can enjoy straight from the garden.